one to Dixon. Lined inside the back, fair down the line. Arizona will take the lead on a stand-up double, and for the first time since 1986 is the national champion.
So here we are. Two teams remain. UCLA, Mississippi State earned the right to step between these lines. Tonight, it could be the last time.
I feel home.
For UCLA, it's a chance to win championship number 109, but they're first in baseball. And for Mississippi State, well, they want to avoid being escorted back to our side of the fence. This is a place reserved for the elite few. Behind these walls, beyond this fence, immortality is within reach. So grab a seat. Game 2 is about to begin.
There ain't a place I'd rather go.
After last night's win, the UCLA Bruins sit just one victory away from an NCAA record 109th national title, but just their first in baseball. Mississippi State must win tonight to force a decisive Game 3 and keep their hopes alive of winning the school's first national championship in any sport. Welcome to the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Tonight, the UCLA Bruins and the Mississippi State Bulldogs square off in Game 2 of the best-of-3 series for college baseball's national championship. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, and I've got my two partners here, Kyle Peterson and Oral Hershiser. It's great to have you with us. If UCLA wins the national championship in baseball, it will be with one of the lowest scoring averages ever. But the bottom line is, you score one more run than the other guy, and that's all that matters.
And that's pitching and defense, and that's how they do it. Let's recap the mayhem brought to you by Allstate. Fantastic defense for UCLA. Cody Regis in the third inning makes a nice play in the outfield grass. That starts it off. Then in the fifth, they break their heart again. Eric Folia, great catch, robs Nick Amaretti. This was extra bases for sure and out of a lot of ballparks. Look at that effort. The seventh inning, Mississippi State, 2 on, no out. They flip a double play right here with DeMarcus Henderson hitting into it. And then in the 8th inning, Mississippi State 1 on, 1 out. Another double play by UCLA. They're fielding at a 987 clip. Only 2 errors in this College World Series. But you know what? They pitched to contact, and they got another guy on the mound that can be dominant. Nick Vandertyg, 4-pitch guy. He's going to mix in a better breaking ball than Adam Plutko. But I'll tell you what, he will be a hard guy for this Mississippi State team because he throws that high fastball also, and it hasn't worked all the time.
Well, Mississippi State is a very good hitting ball club, even though they were held to just 1 run against UCLA last night. Only scoring 1 run hasn't damaged their confidence, though.
No, it really hasn't. I think part of it is just the guts that this team has, and a lot of that comes from Wes Ray. Last night, they didn't do the little things right, but what I liked is what Ray said after the game. They did the small things well. We didn't do some small things well. They got the hit. We didn't get the timely hit. I think that's what baseball games at this time of year come down to. They do, especially in this place. If you don't do the small things in this ballpark, by and large, you don't win, and this is what happened last night. It started in the first inning. Second guy of the game is Kevin Kramer. It's a strikeout. Tough ball for Amaretti to handle back behind that plate. Kramer would come around to score to the 4th. Amaretti again, do or die play. You got to get down there as fast as you can. Ball goes away. Restway would be okay. 2 runs would score. And then later on, the best scoring chance for Mississippi State all night. First and second, nobody out. DeMarcus Henderson can't get the bunt down. And then the Bruins roll a double play. It was just that type of night for Mississippi State. They lined out to end the inning with the bases loaded, had a double taken away with the glove. I expect them to be aggressive tonight and do the small things better.
For Mississippi State, an elimination game, win or go home. For UCLA, a shot at a national championship. Welcome back to Omaha and the College World Series almost ready to go. But first down to the field, here's Jessica Mendoza.
Well, thank you, Mike. There is no school in this country with more national championships than UCLA with 108. Now, not one of those comes in the sport of baseball. I spoke with starting pitcher Nick Vandertag, and he told me just 2 nights ago, he turned to his roommate and he said, remember 3 years ago when we first stepped foot on UCLA's campus and our weight coach took us through the Hall of Champions, showed us all those national championship trophies. And he said, if you want a reason to work hard, if you want reason to be motivated, not one of these comes in baseball. Do you want to be the first? Now, Nick smiled and he turned to me and he said, you know, this has been not only a sense of motivation, but it's been something that we don't feel pressure with. These 108 teams are actually pushing us to play the best baseball here in Omaha. Now, for more on motivation in Mississippi State, here's Kaylee Hartung.
Thanks, Jess. With Luis Poyarena taking the mound, this Bulldog team does not have to look far for inspiration. While I'm sure every player taking the field tonight grew up with dreams of playing baseball on the national stage, Luis was no exception. His father, Oscar, played for the Mexican Professional League, and Luis never doubted that baseball would be a part of his future, even through a time when it seemed like it could only be a dream.
Luis has, probably the biggest heart that you can possibly have.
When I was 4, if I bumped into the wall very slightly, I would get the biggest bruise. That's when my mom said, well, let's take him to the doctor, and they told her at the age of 4 that I had leukemia.
He's somebody who's had to overcome a lot in life. I think he appreciates every moment he has.
He's a battler. People learn to respect him because, how the way he carries himself.
Chemotherapy or radiation, something different. All I remember is just the comfort that I felt from God, just telling me you're going to be fine.
He truly believes that, that's the reason he's out here to play baseball.
Well, if I was able to conquer cancer with a strong faith and with God by my side, I can conquer anything.
As Luis looks to conquer the Bruins, he does so with the advice of his father in his head, which is, have fun. This is just another baseball game. Now, while his parents and his 2 brothers made the trip to Omaha for the Bulldogs' first 2 games, they're now back in Laredo, Texas. And Mike, I can bet there are some TVs in Laredo tuned into this game tonight.
I'll bet there are, and that is a great story, Kaylee. Coach Cohen in his 5th year, 14th as a head coach. Let's see his Capital One starting lineup for the Bulldogs.
We've told you about Hunter Renfroe and Wes Ray, who are really the power guys in this Mississippi State lineup. But I think the guy to watch tonight is the guy that leads all of college baseball in hits, and that's Adam Frazier. He didn't have any last night. 0 for 4 out of the leadoff spot for Frazier, and that's not something you see very often. Hitting .353 over the course of the year. And when this offense goes, it goes because Frazier and Detz are getting on base and causing problems at the top of the lineup.
On the mound for UCLA, 1A. Adam Plutko is 1, and this is 1A. This is their Saturday starter. Had Tommy John surgery back when he was in high school, so his freshman year they guarded his innings, and he was the closer, became a very tough-minded closer. But now as a junior, a 6th-round draft pick for the Giants, he is awesome. There are no free passes. It's like a 7-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio. Plus changeup and the tough-mindedness. He brings the closer mentality to every inning.
UCLA has won every game in the College World Series with the same formula. Great pitching, airtight defense, timely hitting. Can Mississippi State break through tonight? A 6th-round draft choice of the Pirates. Adam Frazier will lead it off. Set a school record with 106 hits this year. Fastball's in for a called strike. Can the Bulldogs be more disciplined at the plate tonight? Can they lay off the high fastballs that plagued them last night? On the corner, called strike 2. Joe Burleson, we've seen him as a home plate umpire before, always seems to have an excellent strike zone. Fair, and it stays the same 1 inning through 9.
Fair, and he kept his composure at a time when the heat really got on at one point during this College World Series. It's what you want out of the guy behind the dish, too.
There's a high fastball, a waste pitch. Frazier has not struck out here in Omaha. He's been up 44 at bats. That's in the NCAA tournament overall. He just fights you for everything. Fastball down the middle, popped up foul.
And we have seen that from all the UCLA pitchers. They challenge people even when they get ahead in the count. It's about a strike. We'll see one waste pitch or purpose pitch, but there's a shot at Adam Plutko, who pitched yesterday and has been outstanding for them. Vandertag just pours it right in there at 1-2, and we saw Plutko yesterday go right after Hunter Renfroe, a 5-tool player in this Mississippi State lineup, their 3-hitter. Wes Ray, their big 275-pound first baseman, goes right after the big guys and the big bats.
This ball's hit to pretty deep right, but Falia, about 5 steps short of the track, makes the catch. One gone. How about that for an ERA?
One usually carries pretty well.
One stingy run.
With an approach that you've seen so far tonight. Very fastball heavy. Plutko's been that way. Watson was too when he was on, and Vandertag no different.
The weather conditions virtually the same for every game for 10 days. The wind is blowing in from center field. Anything in the air basically is going to be an out because it's not going to carry unless they yank it right down the line. 86 degrees. It's humid, but only a 7-mile-an-hour wind. And the forecast is pretty good for college baseball. 1 ball and a strike to Alex Detz, who hits .319. Made his way from California to Starkville. High fastball, and that's foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Shane Zeal. So he tried to hold up but couldn't.
Hands just went far enough, and you could hear it from up here too. Hands start, just got a piece of that one on the way by. And Detz probably the most patient hitter in this Mississippi State lineup.
Two and two. Vandertag has won 13 games this year. One of them out here in Omaha, where he went 7 innings. Gave up only 1 run and 4 hits. That's been a typical start for a UCLA starter. And on deck, Hunter Renfroe. First-round draft pick in this year's Major League Player draft. There's a fastball outside by Vandertag, and the count goes full.
This would be news if Vandertag walks him. He only has 17 walks this year in 121 innings.
Detz not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He likes to draw those free passes. And that's in there for called strike 3. Took something off. A changeup that dropped right in the heart of the plate.
Not a bad time for your first changeup of the game. And we talked about you will see Vandertag throw more off-speed pitches tonight than Plutko. Still going to live off that fastball, but has the ability to do this. Detz hadn't seen it so far in the at-bat. Drops the changeup in, and it was the velocity difference that got Detz right there, right at the top of the zone. But it fooled him as far as velocity difference went. Had to watch it go right by.
Hunter Renfroe, a remarkable athlete. First-round pick of the Padres, and he has gone after some high fastballs.
Runs like the wind, can throw 98 miles an hour from the mound. That gives him an unbelievable arm, of course, from right field. Hits for power, hits for average. And really, for a junior in college, has very few baseball reps. Came from a small town that had not many games, only like 20 games, but what did you say, Mike? 60-some intentional
60
walks in high school?
60 intentional walks in 20 games. This one's popped up, stays on the infield. Gallagher is there for UCLA. Mississippi State goes 1-2-3. Welcome back to the College World Series. Mississippi State's failed to score in the top of the first. UCLA coming to bat. John Savage's team has been here 3 of the last 4 seasons. He's in his 9th year overall, and they are undefeated in the College World Series. Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineup for the Bruins.
Well, the 3-hole hitter for the Bruins is their best hitter, highest average, highest tournament average at .424. A left-handed hitter, which is John Savage's recruiting theory to get great left-handed hitters, and he sits right in the middle of that order. Reached base 3 out of 4 times last night. 2 hits and a hit by pitch.
They're going to face a guy that Mississippi State thinks is a real good matchup against this left-handed hitting UCLA lineup. That's Luis Poyarena. Kaylee told you about his story and the things that he's had to battle through up to this point. He's a kid that it's about so much more than that left arm, but the left arm has been really, really good. The one thing to watch with Poyarena, he has thrown only 3 2/3 innings in the entire postseason. Last time that he pitched was right at the beginning of June. The fastball will surprise you. Up to 90, slider and a changeup. Really competes, but that top one is the thing to watch tonight because UCLA forces you to defend from the mound position and everywhere around. And Poyarena is probably their best athlete as a pitcher on this Mississippi State team.
He will face a scrappy UCLA offense that finds a way to score a run here and a run there. And it's been plenty. Brian Carroll, the junior from San Diego, leads it off, shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's a called strike. Sam Frost, the third baseman, already in close. He's the better defensive player for Mississippi State. They went with Detz last night. They're going to need all the defense they can muster, it would seem, against this club the way they play. Carroll with 2 hits in the College World Series in 10 trips. That's low for a ball. Kevin Kramer, the left-hander, on deck. He's second on this team in RBIs out of the 2-hole. That one hit him. And their best base stealer is aboard to start the game.
Well, that's the key with small ball. Getting your leadoff hitter on and advancing runners with outs. That's UCLA's style. And they'll mix in a clutch hit.
Now John Goen is going to come out to argue the call.
I think the argument is, does he leaned into it? And maybe at the last minute. I tell you what, though, look at that front foot.
He's out of the box.
That front left foot's out of the box. That's the one, and I don't know that that was part of the argument, but that's the one thing that they really need to be looking at there.
He turned it as the ball got there, but you're right about the front foot. He may have been out of the batter's box.
Yeah, it looked like that toe was clearly out of the batter's box.
Carroll, 32 stolen bases in 40 tries. Where does Kramer want to try to bunt this? Toward first?
If he's bunting, he'd like to bunt it to first because you have a left-handed pitcher that's probably going to fall off a little bit towards third base. The first baseman has to hold the runner on because of that pickoff play, keep the runner close. So the place, the most space for a bad bunt is the first base line.
And Frost is charging hard from third. Another throw to first.
The easier base for UCLA to steal while the left-handers on the mound will be third base.
Takes it for a called strike.
Poyarena has a variety of moves and different tempos that he'll use from the mound to control the running game at first base. But at second base, as the head turns of a left-hander, you lose sight of the runner as they lead off and you get a better jump.
As a starter, that earned run average over 5, and there is the bunt. Poyarena got there, then bobbled it. He was thinking second base, and then Ray can't handle it. On his way to third is Carroll. You could just see Poyarena, as good of an athlete as he is, hopping off the mound thinking, I've got a shot at second base.
And just trying to get there too quick. And we talk about sometimes how the game speeds up, and the game sped up right here. Right when that ball's not clearly handled, now the game's going to speed up, and he's got to fire it a lot quicker over to first base than he's generally going to have to. Tough for Ray to make this play because it gets on him so quick, and it almost looks like he lost it for a minute because that bare hand went all the way up. But remember, these are the things that really got Mississippi State last night. When they give you an out, and UCLA will try to give you outs over the course of the ball game, you have to take it.
This is about the worst start Mississippi State could imagine. You can't walk UCLA players, so you walk the first guy. If they want to give you a sacrifice bunt and out, you have to take it. So they botch the play and throw it away.
Best thing I've ever heard, too. Ed Service is the head coach at Creighton here in town, and they are routinely one of the best defensive teams in the country. And his approach is very simple on the mound. If they bunt, get the guy at first base. Just real simple. Get the guy at first base. Unless it is a seed back to you, and then maybe we can double them up. But other than that, just get the out. And I think sometimes you can see guys' heads start spinning a little bit too quick because you're trying to get that lead runner. If they're giving you out, just take the out.
John Cohen talking to Luis Poyarena, trying to settle him.
For me, the speech right now is, look, the game is just starting. We're not even going to worry about the run on third. We're going to score tonight. So that one run over there on third is not going to hurt us. Let's concentrate on the runner at first and the hitter.
Well, they're not afraid to go to their bullpen, but they weren't thinking bullpen with nobody out in the top of the first.
And that's Ross Mitchell already up and throwing, the left-hander down in that Mississippi State pen.
A little earlier than normal.
Yeah, when I talked to John Cohen before the game, he said if there are any issues at all, you're going to see Mitchell up right away. He started the game in the right field bullpen. Didn't have to run down there. He started the game in the right field bullpen just in case.
Well, they have issues. Falia stands in. Breaking pitch just missed.
And to accentuate the point about their bullpen, 33-5 on the year, and they do have more innings than the starters over the whole year. So this is not just a College World Series or a tournament philosophy. They've used this all year.
And they have an unbelievable bullpen ERA, 1.66. Out here, they've got 2 wins and 3 saves. Now, you can't argue with the system. The system has worked beautiful.
And it's what kept him in it last night. Chad Girardo went 7 2/3, struck out 9, did not give up an earned run.
Out of the bullpen.
Absolutely.
Valleca waiting to see how many Bruins might be on base when he gets up as the cleanup man. Falia is ahead 2-0 and hammers one to right field, but right at Renfroe, and Renfroe with a big throw home, not in time. Carroll scores. Renfroe has a great arm, but probably a little too deep to have a legitimate shot there.
Well, the ball is hit very, very well, and Mississippi State is lucky that it's at somebody, and then they're fortunate that Renfroe with the cannon out there, remember 98 miles from the mound, he has to read the ball in the line drive, so he ends up catching that with his momentum going backwards. If that's higher and lazier, then he can get under it, run forward, and I'll bet you he throws it more accurately, and you probably don't score.
Yeah, he's upset with himself, you can tell. Kramer first, 1 out for Valleca. Kramer's a threat to run as well. Valleca 254 on the season, 3 hits here in Omaha in 14 trips. Nobody in this UCLA lineup within hailing distance of a 300 batting average. Valleca tied for the team lead at 276. And another UCLA run without a base hit. Speared at short, got the force, did Frazier on the first, not in time. Nice play, Adam Frazier.
Well done. And an out that they needed right there, too. That ball goes into left field. You're probably going to see Mitchell come trotting out of the bullpen. But Adam Frazier, we talked about him offensively, and he leads the country in hits this year. But defensively, the kid is really good with the glove. Backhand side, throws the ball to Pirtle that in times you have a chance to turn that double play. It's just not hit quite hard enough, and Frazier had to go too far, but they still got the lead runner.
Now Pat Gallagher, the junior from Reno, Nevada, also with a .276 batting average. Gallagher lines it into right for a base hit. Renfroe comes up throwing for third. Going to have a play, and they got him. What a beautiful throw. Hunter Renfroe. They may not run on him again.
How about this right arm? You give him time to set his feet and come all the way through the throw. There is nobody better in college baseball than this guy right here from right field. Two-hopper to third base. Great tag by Sam Frost, who's in there for defense. But the Bruins put one on the board in the first.
Hunter Renfroe in the dugout, made the All-SEC defensive team this year because of that big arm and his range in right field. Watch this throw. Sort of flat-footed when he fielded that ball, but it's on target. And I'm not sure the runner isn't in there.
Well, the difference between the first throw, the line drive, it looks like the UCLA, oh, it blocks the bag with his foot. The slide was not very accurate. The slide's to the outside part of the bag. He's safe. The inside part of the bag, he hits the foot and gets stuck. But Renfroe's throw in the first one, the line drive, he was standing erect. The glove was over his head and it took his momentum backwards. That one, even though he didn't have a momentum towards third, at least he was bent over and able to coil his body and get it gathered and throw the ball on line.
That was his 8th assist this year from right field. Now Brett Pirtle. Pirtle hitting .316. He's been on fire out here. 9 out of 16 in the College World Series. Not your typical cleanup guys. 5'9", 176.
And Kyle mentioned last night the reason he's really in the 4-hole is to break up the two big righties, Wes Ray, who's on deck, and Hunter Renfroe, who made last out. Those are the two 4-5 hitters, but they like to alternate the right left, so they sandwich Pirtle in between.
Renfroe, a legitimate 5-tool player. That's why he was a first-round draft pick.
And you don't get 5-tool player when all your tools are Major League average. They are Major League above average, and that's where you get the grade. Just to get a 5 on a scout's 1 to 8 grading, 1 being the lowest, 8 being Major League Hall of Fame tool. If you get everything above a 5, that's when you become a 5-tooler.
Grounded to short. Vallejo throws Pirtle out for the first out of the second inning.
Do you think the scouting development of rating system was 1 to 8 because fathers used to look over scouts' shoulders and they wanted a system that fathers didn't understand? Why wouldn't it be 1 to 10?
Try to trick him the whole time.
Trying to trick him, you know.
Only giving him an 8 for. Come on, only an 8.
Then your signing bonus, you're going. He only thinks you're an 80%. You know, they don't tell him that that's 100%.
Conspiracy theories abound. The big first baseman, Wes Ray, takes a fastball inside off the plate. 6 for 16 here in Omaha for the season. Ray hitting .295. Little surprised to see him bouncing around as well as he was during infield, because he took a shot on the knee in a collision at first base last night. Frazier, Renfroe, and Ray in the finals against UCLA are hitless in 12 trips. And he swung over the top of that fastball.
You see that, you better stay inside. Better stay inside. And we saw it last night to where he's not quite getting to that ball inside. It tied up Renfroe earlier in this at bat. That time it tied up Wes Ray.
Same pitch, same result.
That's at 90, and it's got a little late sink at the end. It's not straight like Plutko was last night. Watch the little tail right at the end, right there. Where Ray sees it, it does not end up in the hitting area.
2-2 from Nick Vandertide. High fastball, just got a piece, sent it back to the screen.
Imagine that, a high fastball from a UCLA pitcher. They live upstairs.
Pretty good recipe.
In this ballpark.
And then there's two.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson is not a place where it flies great either, so that game transfers pretty well.
High fastball is ripped but foul. Got around on that one.
That was much better. Hands were quicker on that one. Now it's a fourth time they've gone fastball inside. So this time, Ray, and you can see how that stance stays a little bit open. He starts open and stays open, so it's a bit easier to get those hips through it. But that one was hit on the screws. He's got to it a little early. Now let's see if they go to the breaking ball down away.
Yeah, because he has not seen a real good breaking ball.
Nope. And you've continued to create more room inside. Breaking ball on the outside part of the plate's tough to cover.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball hit back up the middle. Valeka, 2 out. This is a very recognizable pattern for UCLA. They get a run out of almost nothing in the first inning. Their starting pitcher just mown them down one after the other. Down the stretch, they have been a tremendous baseball team. C.T. Bradford, the center fielder, lays off a high fastball.
It's a good one. Getting over the top of that changeup, because even when it's not down in the zone, it still has pretty good sink. It started at the top part of the zone, and you could see it was still trying to work its way down.
In the air down the left field line, foul territory, and giving chase is Kramer, and slides into the tarp. It's 1-2. Almost every foul ball we have seen hit against a UCLA pitcher has been to the opposite field. Almost every single one of them.
Well, that line drive by Wes Ray in the at bat before was probably, you're right, one of the few pull foul balls we've seen. To be expected after you go change up for a strike and then a fastball for a strike late.
Over the top, struck him out. Vandertide has retired the first 6 he's faced.
Well, he unveils the breaking ball, and the zeros continue from UCLA pitchers. They lead 1-0.
1-0 UCLA at the College World Series. Let's check in with Jessica Mendoza. Jess?
Well, thank you, Mike. UCLA may not have the numbers offensively, but they've really been able to execute. We saw that earlier this game with a sac fly by Eric Falia, but even yesterday in the last 4 games, they've scored 11 runs simply by that execution. So tonight's hitting lesson is brought to you by Monsters University, and it is Eric Falia, and how he's been able to get the job done along with the rest of this offense. As you watch how balanced he is, he has a very small stride. He keeps his hands back. And that small weight transfer, as he gets to contact, allows his hands to stay inside the ball and on top. See, his barrel is behind the ball. That is so key to let the ball travel deep and hit middle to opposite field. See how balanced he is through his swing, and what UCLA has done so well. Not only letting that ball travel deep, but just executing, hitting the ball middle to opposite field all series long.
And Jessica Mendoza, as a left-handed batter, was a 4-time All-American at Stanford. Thank you, Jess. And we have a new pitcher, and the starters from Mississippi State have failed the last 2 nights.
That combined to get 7 outs in 2 games so far for the starters. But Ross Mitchell has been one of their best out of the bullpen the entire season. 13-0. He hasn't started a game. On for the 34th time, a 1.27 ERA. The one thing to watch with Mitchell tonight, contact guy. Not a big strikeout guy, just 44 strikeouts in 92 innings, but he will force UCLA to put it in play.
Kevin Williams will lead it off. Strike called on the inside corner. And Pollarena, victim of his own error in the first inning. In fact, he was charged with 2 when he failed to get the sacrifice bunt, and then when he threw it past first baseman Wes Ray, allowing the runner to advance. 1 out quickly as Kevin Williams grounds out. Williams stops on his way to the dugout to exchange some information with Zeal. He struggled out here, 1 for 14, batting .071 in the World Series. Tap toward third, foul ball.
Foul ball, guys, foul ball.
His uncle Todd didn't have too many 1 for 14 stretches in his career.
He was a very solid star player in the big leagues. And young Zeal here. Shane Zeal was a shortstop until January of this year, and they wanted to do a position change with him in the fall and move him from shortstop to catcher to really solidify their catching position. And people around Westwood thought, who's going to be the catcher for UCLA through the winter? And they said, we're going to have a position change. Shane Zeal's going to be there, but he had hurt his left labrum, his shoulder, and wasn't able to go through the position change until January. But he's really solidified their defense and kept his bat in the lineup.
On the ground behind second, Pirtle.
Good first step right there by Pirtle, too. Bare hand side, but got over there in time to set that foot before he fielded it. So body movement not taking it past second base. Right foot's already set. Once he gloves it, plenty of time to throw over and get Zeal.
Now the number 8 man, Cody Regis from Glendora, California. He too has struggled out here, 2 for 12.
Cody is their only senior on the Bruins team. Been out here to Omaha 3 times. Most postseason games in school history.
And still seeking that elusive first national championship in baseball, but if they win tonight, they've got it. Oh, 2 to Regis. Get hard down to first. Wes Ray with those soft hands makes the play. 3 up, 3 down. An 8-pitch inning.
My first season tickets at Rosenblatt, 96, somewhere around in there. I was down here when you had to give the foul balls back. Here I had season tickets to the series, and I could never find anybody to go with me. And I hear somebody behind me say, well, I'll go. And it was Jeff. It was him and I for the next 12 years. And then every year since I had tickets, I would send in a request to the College World Series to be as close to third base as possible. And of course, we got nothing. Jeff passed away on March 4th. He had cancer. He was a special guy. It's hard to realize that the guy's never coming back. I miss the guy. Then on March 7th was his funeral, and I slid a ticket to the College World Series in his hand and then said my final goodbyes. And the next day, I got a call from the series, and they moved our tickets to the third row by third base, exactly where we wanted to be. I just looked up and said, hey, thanks, Jeff.
So many great stories out here. You run into people all the time that say, we just came out here on a lark 7-8 years ago. We enjoyed it so much. We come back all the time. And Jim Kilker, thanks for sharing. We appreciate it. He's still back. I'm sure he thinks of his friend every time he comes here.
So many great stories like that. People so reverential to Rosenblatt, but also to the relationships that they formed at that old place by people that you sat next to for 15, 20, 25 years, and kept a lot of those people close when they moved over to this ballpark.
Sam Frost gets a start tonight, and he leads it off by hitting it right to Pat Gallagher for the first out of the third. Nick Ammirati comes to the plate. He probably feels like this UCLA defense owes him something.
He's right. Should have been a leadoff double yesterday in the 5th. In fact, off the bat, it looked like it was a home run by Ammirati. Eric Falia would run it down and change the end.
UCLA's defense has been very, very special.
No errors tonight, and only 2 in the College World Series. Fielding at a 987 clip. It's #1 with their pitching staff.
Ammirati 1 for 13 in Omaha, shows bunt, brings the bat back, and it's 1-1.
John Savage will tell you that UCLA is a practice team. They practice at full speed. They practice the details of the game. They chart everything. They get everybody in the right position, and then they go at it at full speed. There's no shadows. There's no going at half speed to learn where you're supposed to be. They hit the ball at full speed. They run at full speed. They field. They dive. And they feel like they are not going to be surprised by the speed of the game. And they will be ready for anything.
Now their mantra is they never take a practice off. They never take a drill off. They never take a play off. And it's shown here in Omaha. In the air, foul. And on top of the dugout.
The other thing that helps defense is pitching staff that can hit their spots. And the thing you're watching with Vandertag tonight is not only does he attack, but he really has not made any mistakes in the middle of the plate. We talked about one pitch where he went after a hitter right down the middle, but other than that, he has lived on the edges. And it's been with every one of his pitches, the fastball, the changeup, and the breaking ball.
1-2 to the catcher, Nick Ammirati out of Sparta, New Jersey. Popped up again, this time the other way and out of play.
I'll tell you the other thing too, and Vandertag and Plutko are very similar with this. Their mechanics are so quiet. They're not doing very much. In fact, when Vandertag starts, watch his right foot. It's already turned like he's going to home plate. So there's very little movement in both of them, which means it's a lot easier to repeat. And they've done a great job of repeating fastball up in the zone, breaking ball down in the zone today for Vandertag, but they both simplify.
Got him to chase in the dirt, and they'll throw him out at first, barely. As Gallagher had to stretch and then get back to the bag. 3 strikeouts for Vandertag through 2 2/3.
Here is that breaking ball again. The key is where it starts and where it ends up. That's what got the foul ball just a minute ago, and that's the quiet mechanics. Very easy. That front foot just lifts. It doesn't swing, gets to the balance point, and then throws right over that front foot towards home plate. A little recoil once he gets there, but everything to that point is what makes it so easy to repeat, which is one of the major keys when you're on the mound.
Mississippi State must win tonight to force a deciding game 3 tomorrow night. They're down 1-0 as DeMarcus Henderson stands in. They have yet to get anything going against Nick Vandertag. He has retired the first 8 men he has faced. Fastballs right down Main Street for strike 1. Henderson 273 on the season. The bottom third of this order has not hit well. He only has 3 hits and 13 trips.
I know as an athlete, when you fail in a key situation with first and second no out in the in the 7th inning yesterday, failed to get the sacrifice down, then hit into double play. He must have had a sleepless night. He really wants to pick his team up and himself up here today.
You know, when he hit that ball hard too.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit that ball hard. He just hit it to the wrong spot.
With his wheels, he's hard to double up, and I think right before he hit it, I said that, you know, at least he's not going to hit it in double play, and bam, he hit a bullet right to the right of the second baseman, just led him right to the bag, and it was easy double play. But the sleepless night will come from failing on the first 2 pitches, not getting the bunt down, the sacrifice, because it was 1st and 2nd, no out.
Frazier hoping for an opportunity to keep the inning going as we would go back to the top of the order if Henderson can reach. Check this swing. 2-2. Excuse me, 3-2. A lot of maroon here again tonight. They're on their feet. Fastball lined into center field for a base hit. DeMarcus Henderson.
If Mississippi State is going to get it done offensively tonight, that's the approach you got to have. Line drive, line drive, line drive. Use the middle of the field, and Henderson right here just shortens up. You don't see too many 2-strike approaches anymore in baseball. That's a 2-strike approach. Just choke up a little bit, get the barrel to it, use the middle of the field, and Henderson's on their first hit of the game for Mississippi State.
Now Adam Frazier, who flew out his first trip. First base runner for the Bulldogs. First time through the lineup, not much success, right? 1 for 18 for the last 2 nights. Now you're going to have to hit your way on with Vandertuig's ability to command all of his pitches. Not going to give you anything. That's high. But Frazier heading the count 2-0.
UCLA outfield defense. This depth is a no doubles depth with 2 outs and a man on first. They're playing the odds that it's going to take 2 hits to score that run from first, not 1. Normal outfield depth here is a lot more in and very shallow, trying to cut down even on the line drive. They're covering the gaps now.
There's an awful lot of room to drop one in out there, isn't it?
And he just dropped a pretty good changeup in there right there too, and that's what we've seen so far with Vandertuig. When he gets in what are hitter plus counts, he can do this. Let's drop that changeup in there. That one starts as a strike, goes down and out of the zone, and Frazier can't hold up.
Because the hitter's got to be thinking, I'm ahead. Nice hitter's count at 2-0. He's going to throw me a fastball. DeMarcus Henderson has to dive back this time. 3 stolen bases this year, but he's been thrown out 4 times. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Start calling that the UCLA fastball, up above the letters.
There are certain places that are known by certain pitches, and at this point, with the success that UCLA has had, it's worked pretty well for 3 straight years.
Well, there's an alum playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates right now named Garrett Cole that's throwing at about 98 to 102. And you can call it the UCLA Garrett Cole fastball if you want.
There you go. That had a little more hop when he and Bauer were here.
That last number is not a bad number. Mix in 102 at you.
On the ground toward the second baseman, Regis. On to first. Mississippi State gets its first hit, but strands the runner. ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Bring your tickets, bring your food. Coverage of the College World Series finals will end Wednesday on ESPN as the Bruins battle the Bulldogs for the national championship. Find out who gets to raise the trophy. The NCAA College World Series finals game 3, if it's necessary, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. All the Mississippi State folks hope it will be necessary. The Bruins trying to close it out and claim the national championship. Brett Allen takes a fastball from Ross Mitchell for a called strike. This is UCLA's 3rd inning. They are the home team tonight. 0-2. Down to first, Ray. And one quickly gone. UCLA hitters trying to exchange information. There's a bunt toward third. It goes foul. And Frost was very quickly in on it.
And you got to remember, too, for these guys at the top, for Carroll and Kramer, Falia, Valleca, Gallagher, even though they've already hit once today, they haven't faced Ross Mitchell, and they didn't see him yesterday. So it's a different arm out there, different approach than they saw against Poyerenen. That time, Brent Allen just trying to give Kramer an idea of what he's going to see.
No balls and a strike to Brian Carroll. Scored the game's only run after being hit by a pitch to start the ball game. That's low, 1-1.
Omaha's been really a great host over the years, but the people that have made the biggest impression are these Mississippi State fans. You know, they always love to see the LSU fans come, but LSU got knocked out early.
Right.
And LSU is here year after year after year. But Mississippi State traveled the best, came out, and they are as friendly and as warm and as great a tailgaters as the LSU fans. And
look at that.
There's one guy from LSU State.
Not going home yet. 9,000 strong from Starkville.
That is pretty good.
They won the Omaha local over very quickly on how wonderful they are.
They snuck a few cowbells in, too. You know, if they're coming, they're going to sneak a few cowbells in.
And the advertisement you gave on their home stadium, I'm going to make a pilgrimage there just to go for a weekend series, and probably against LSU, right?
Gotta go see Dudy Noble. And you better not eat the day before, because there's no reason to. They will feed you, and it is good.
Full count to Brian Carroll. Inside, and Carroll is aboard with 1 out.
There it is, Ron Polk, who did so much to build really college baseball up with the baseball program at Mississippi State, a big part of building up the mystique at Dudy Noble. They pull those trailers in before the season and they don't move. Seats on top of it. It's almost like a mini Wrigleyville in some spots. Duty Gras when they pull them all in at the beginning of the year, and it is a sight to see. And if you're a college baseball fan, you got to get there once.
So you get permanent parking for the season.
Oh, yeah.
Do you bid on your spot?
Oh, I'm sure you got to buy.
I wonder. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sure you
donation to the program, huh?
Packed all the way around. I went out there this year, had pork wrapped in pork, and it was awesome. Pork wrapped in bacon. You can't beat that. Come on.
Wow.
They're having a watch party, we are told, at Dudy Noble tonight. $1 hot dogs, not bad. That's if you don't have a spot out beyond the fence.
Yeah.
Phil Bryant, the governor of the state of Mississippi, has made the journey. Trying to keep a close eye on Carroll with his speed.
I think we can vouch for the character of both these coaches in the finals, of recruits out there that are watching. These are two fine character guys that really teach baseball to the nth degree, and just listening to them, meeting them all in all our meetings and over the years, John Savage of UCLA and John Cohn, I just think are just fine gentlemen that I would hand my son off to.
And I love the way they prepare, each one of them. They are outstanding at that side of the game. Practice doesn't make you perfect, but practice makes you prepared. And these two guys do it consistently each and every time. I saw Mississippi State scouting report today. Awesome. Awesome how detailed it was. Everything fits on two sides of a page. Offense on one side, defense on the other.
You know what they also have a knack for? They prepare at a certain level, but they understand how much needs to be imparted to the athlete. That they don't overload them, that they understand each individual athlete has a different tolerance for amount of information, and they balance it.
Yeah, one size does not fit all.
No, some guys are film guys, some guys aren't film guys. Some guys want to know tendencies, some guys just want to go up and hit.
And some guys get paralysis by analysis.
Kramer ahead 3-1 down the first. That hit foul before it went into fair territory, and Kramer will limp around a while. Get the feeling Carroll might be going from first base on the 3-2 count. More action in the Mississippi State pen. The strength of this pitching staff. Runner goes, the ball hit through the hole into right field for a base hit. Renfroe wanted to come up throwing and kicked it. So Carroll gets into third base. Renfroe saw another outfield assist in his future and just couldn't pick up the bounding ball.
Well, the third ball that's hit to him is finally a ball you really can get some momentum and get some footwork going to show the arm off. But he just kind of peeks a little bit and just gets it on the fingers of the glove. He's made two other pretty doggone good throws without the footwork. That one he had a chance for and just botched it.
So will UCLA take advantage of another defensive mistake by Mississippi State?
It's not graded an error, and it really didn't probably get an extra base for UCLA. That's why there's no error, but they lost an opportunity to maybe throw the runner out of third.
Now they want to talk about this defensive situation they're going to have to face. ESPN's coverage of the Confederations Cup continues with the semifinals. Tomorrow 2:30 Brazil against Uruguay. Then Thursday Spain against Italy. That's for the last spot in the finals. That also starts at 2:30. The FIFA Confederations Cup Wednesday, Thursday, 2:30 on ESPN. Both matches also live on Watch ESPN. Mitchell came on in relief of Pollo Reyna, the starter. Now he's in a jam. First and third, one out for Eric Falia. Falia's line drive to right resulted in a sacrifice fly RBI in the first, driving home Carroll.
And that was a discussion too. When John Cohen went out, and the expectation was at some point, if you're UCLA, if you can push another one across right here, and I understand Falia's a 3-hole hitter and had a good night last night, but that right there, you could see the action. They're looking to safety squeeze. If you get something handled, you lay it down. Base runners waiting until they see the angle of that ball going down into the grass.
And Carroll with that speed down at third. No sign of a bunt this time. Takes it for ball 2.
UCLA just loves to create confusion when they're on offense. They might not necessarily do what they show, but they put it in everybody's head that it's possible just to distract them.
They make the other team make plays. 2-1.
2-1.
And if you make the other guy make enough tough plays, you're going to botch a couple. There's the sacrifice. The safety squeeze will get a run home. Great job by Falia. Pushed it down the right side. They had no chance at the plate.
And I like the way that Rex Peters handled this too. He handles the offense for UCLA, and 1-0, 2-0 takes it off. Now 2-1 puts it back on. So you're telling your hitter in this spot, Falia, you getting 2 good hitting counts, I'm going to give you a chance. Okay, now 2-1, still a good hitting count. Not as good as 1-0, 2-0. Now we're going to put it back on. He laid it down in a perfect spot. Gets an RBI in that second UCLA run. Brian Carroll has scored both UCLA runs, hit by a pitch and walked so far today.
And for Falia, his 4th RBI of the finals. Line fair down into the right field wall. Renfroe lets it get by him. Another run will score, and a runner at second for UCLA. It's 3-0. Vallejo with a line drive that drives home the 3rd run.
Well, this is just a good piece of hitting. It's a compact swing. It's short. It's sweet. He's not trying to do too much. He might look at it just a tad, thinking it might hook foul, but once it lands fair, he is busting it towards second. And Renfroe, a little botch right there, lets him get into second cleanly. And UCLA not only gets the RBI, another guy into scoring position because of an error.
Pat Gallagher now. And you see the numbers on UCLA if they have scored 3 or more with that pitching. 40-5 under those circumstances. And now Gallagher will try to add to the damage. We asked John Savage the other day if this is as hot, if he's ever seen anyone as hot as Gallagher. And he says this is as hot as Gallagher's ever been. That's a fastball for a called strike.
Remember the story on Pat Gallagher at the plate. This is a guy who only had 32 at-bats his freshman and sophomore year. 3 for 32. Hung in with the program, a great teammate, now one of the leaders on the club. He is a grinder overachiever. Now that he finally got to be in the everyday lineup this year, he's taken full advantage of it, and now he's got a chance for a national championship trophy.
Scorer's ruling on that last play was a single and an error on the right fielder Hunter Renfroe to allow the runner to go to second. Gallagher just tips that one foul.
There's very few people that would be an error on because they wouldn't be over there that quick. That's how his running speed, he gets to the line, a sure double down the line, and he's over there flying. He has an actual shot at it to carry him off there, and he just doesn't play it accurately into the glove. Every other right fielder, it's just a sure double. You don't get to it in time.
2-2. Gallagher singled his last time up. He is 5 for 16 at the College World Series. And Vandertide now seeing that advantage grow to 3-0 and another run in scoring position with 2 outs. It's almost like somebody wrote a script for UCLA. The other team makes a couple errors, walks somebody, we get a hit, we're ahead, and then the pitching stands up and UCLA wins 3-1 or 4-2.
And then we cruise.
Well, it's the pitching and defense Bible, and they just didn't write the offensive chapter. The offensive chapter is more like this is the creative writing portion of the book, where we're going to create things out of nothing. But the factual part of it is we're going to throw strikes, we're going to pitch to our defense, we're going to strike people out when we get a shot, and we're going to make all the plays.
Another 2-2. This one's popped up. Amirati, the catcher, makes the out. However, UCLA gets 2 more, and at the end of 3, it's 3-0 Bruins. Welcome back to the College World Series, and Nick Vandertide has been staked to a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the 4th inning in the College World Series in Omaha for Mississippi State. An elimination game for Vandertide and the Bruins, a chance to win the national championship tonight. 1 hit over 3 innings. It'll be Detz, Renfroe, and Pirtle in the Mississippi State 4th. Vandertide starts him off with a fastball. Detz struck out his first time up. Another fastball down the left field line. Twisting foul, 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes.
Good time for it. A couple fastballs to start the at-bat off to Detz, and throw the breaking ball down in the dirt. See if he'll chase it.
Renfroe on deck. Right back at Vandertide and through. Detz with a second Mississippi State hit.
Hunter Renfroe has been trying a little too hard throughout this series. We've seen it on defense, and we're seeing it on offense too. A little over swinging. UCLA just attacking him last night with fastballs in all 3 at bats. Over swinging. Finally just gets a pop up, and again tonight, not really trying to slow him down, just working the fastball in. He's got to let the game come to him a little bit more and just trust his ability is enough. But we see the over trying on defense, and I think we see the over swinging on offense.
He has 1 of the 3 home runs hit in the College World Series, and it was a rocket off the bullpen wall in left field.
And it was a breaking ball. And UCLA saw that, and they're going to try and force him to hit the fastball until they can put him away with a breaking ball and bounce it.
He has certainly struggled out here, only 3 for 16. And you always see a couple of guys who are truly superstars who come out here and just have a tough time in the College World Series. And you see somebody that's hit 200 all year come out here and be a star.
And that's the beauty of baseball. Superstars and stars are made up of long hot streaks and short cold streaks. You're going to have them. You just wish you wouldn't have them if you're a star on a big stage, and you're glad you have it when you're kind of the borderline player, the role player, and all of a sudden you are a star because of this platform.
1-1 to Hunter Renfroe. High fastball, high in the air to left. Nothing hit that high in the air is going to get out of here.
These are the guys that have carried him the whole year offensively. Frazier 0 for 6 so far in the finals. Renfroe now 0 for 5 after that one. Wes Ray 0 for 4, and he waits on deck. That one was close. The closest of the 5 at bats that Renfroe has had. He just missed hitting that one out and making it a 3-2 game.
When your big guns fail, just isn't enough pop left in the rest of the lineup most of the time to make up for it. You've counted on those guys all year long to come through. Now Pirtle 1-on-1 out.
They don't use shotguns to kill gnats, and that's kind of what UCLA is. They just keep coming at you.
Look at the numbers for Pirtle. He's 7 for 17 out here. They could really use another base hit from him tonight. Vandertide taking his time and backs off. Now we're watching Pirtle get signs from Nick Mingione, the third base coach. It's a long time between pitches to get the sign. Missed with a fastball.
It is, but John Savage is peeking over the third base to see what Nick Mingione does. And there are times where Savage will wait, stand and look over, wait till the signs are flashed at third. Now he'll get the pitcher. And whether they have him or not really doesn't matter, because you've got it in the head of the other side that you might have their signs. If he's going to take that long to look, and believe me, they can see it on the other side, you got him talking right away.
Down the left field line and foul. Well, if you're that suspicious that they've got your signs, are you going to change them, or are you going to call the hitter in and say, here's what I want?
I don't think you do in this case. Now watch. So there's Savage just beyond. You could see him. Well, that time he gave him. Must be comfortable in the 1-2 count.
Well, the 1-2 count. That's
yeah.
Hit down toward first, and that's kicked. A rare UCLA error as Pat Gallagher could not handle the chopper.
This is a one-out play for Gallagher. As he comes off, they're probably not going to get two, so you got to be sure of one. And probably in between his mind here is, am I going to continue on and make the throw to second? Am I going to turn around and flip it to the pitcher? Didn't get it in the glove.
This is Mississippi State's opportunity. They get a base hit and a UCLA error with a fly out in between. So 2 runners on for Big Wes Ray. 7 home runs, 40 driven in this year.
Expect a lot of fastballs in. And expect Wes Ray to be sitting on it. He showed that at the end of his last at bat, that he stayed open and just pulled a line drive, just fouled on the line.
6 hits and 17 trips in the College World Series. Fastball drilled to left. Back goes Allen at the track, and he makes the catch. Ray gave it a ride, didn't he?
He did. He just stared down the left field wall. He wasn't looking at Brenton Allen. He was staring down the left field wall, because that's twice so far in this College World Series that off the bat it looks like it's gone, but it just doesn't leave this place. That's the one that he struggled with the first time up. We saw the last at bat, the last pitch of the last at bat he got to,
but you knew he was sitting on it, and he got what he wanted, and he hit it the way he wanted. But this is a replica of the Mississippi State batting practice today. We watched him take batting practice, and there weren't a lot of line drives, and there weren't a lot of hard ground balls. They were still hitting these long fly balls, and they were crushing it. And only 2 balls their whole batting practice went out.
C.T. Bradford with 2 on, now 2 out. Ray stung it, not quite far enough.
It's a home run in 98% of the ballparks in the nation. It's just not going to be a home run here.
The wind was measured at 7 miles an hour before the game started. It looks about the same speed. Pick off at second. Whoa, that was close.
tags him on that front hand, he might get it. Tagged him on the shoulder, and the hand got in. Watch the right hand coming back in, and then the tag. Tag goes to the. He just couldn't quite get it down in time.
Bradford, a strikeout victim, his first time up. That's bounced. Great block by Zeal. That ball was so far out in front of the plate, it just makes it that much more difficult for the catcher.
Not too long ago, he was a shortstop. After last night, taking 4 foul tips in the mask, I'm sure he thought it'd be time to be a shortstop again. But he's done a great job back behind the plate, just surrounding that one, trying to deaden everything in the top half and drop it right in front of him.
Boy, he did get drilled last night, didn't he?
Kept getting up.
Two 2-0 to Bradford.
Ball drop.
Change up is high.
3 foul tips right off the mask.
Oh. Well, if he had sinus problems before that, they're cleared up. Three balls, no strikes to Bradford. Frost is on deck.
Yep.
Fastball right in there.
Vandertuig has rarely fallen behind, but when he has, he's pitched backwards, and they've gone to the changeup. They had the changeup here in 2-0. Came back with a 3-0 fastball to get back in the count. I just don't believe they're just going to automatically throw a fastball here.
It's been a struggle against the UCLA pitching staff to score at all. Fastball skied to left center field. Allen is there. And the threat goes wanting. Mississippi State strands 2. Will go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 UCLA. Nothing UCLA. Mississippi State had a chance in the top of the 4th, but a Wes Ray shot to left was caught at the warning track You don't get that many shots against UCLA.
No, and the other thing, too, and the difference is when UCLA has had the chance, they've pushed them across. That inning, UCLA makes a run. Mississippi State can't push any across. It's been the difference. We talk little things. Little things have made a big difference so far in 2 games.
And you watch Mississippi State, the reason they don't score the runs, they hit fly balls. Yep. And you know what? The UCLA team, they bend, but they don't break. But Mississippi State's got to change their strategy and approach at the plate.
UCLA batting in the home half of the 4th inning. Kevin Williams has had 2 hits here in Omaha. UCLA 3 runs tonight, 3 hits. Seem to be able to manufacture a run out of just about anything. Give them a chance. Hit by a pitch, an error, an errant throw. And they've put another one on the board. Williams is hit.
Coming into this game, they were hitting 183 for the College World Series. But on the reverse, their pitchers were only giving up a batting average of 181. So the amazing thing about UCLA, when you look at their stats, across the board, when you come down to the bottom of all the categories where it says what they did and what the opponent did in all the games total up, they win every matchup. It's not significant in offense, but they do it, and it's significant when it comes to pitching.
I want to talk to Mitchell. He's got the bottom third of the order left in this inning after hitting Kevin Williams to put him aboard. And they are going to make a change as Butch Thompson, the pitching coach. Bracewell will be the new pitcher. We'll check him out when we come back.
Let the ball! Let the ball!
If this is like a 7-game World Series, he would go to the right field line, he'd go to here, he'd come here, and you work your way around the plate. So the guy that worked game 1 would get game 7 in like the World Series for professional baseball. But ours is mixed and matched.
You okay, big guy? You okay? You okay? You sure? Take a deep breath, okay? I know. Damn, I think it scared me more than it did you. Okay? Okay.
Sounds of Omaha, 100 microphones set up, 105 total. Just remarkable audio that we get from the College World Series, and all of our audio technicians and everybody on this crew work so hard. And also we want to thank the umpires for allowing us to put microphones on them so we can hear everything that goes on in the field. And you get some pretty good insights out here.
Yeah, pretty good insights and just sounds you usually don't hear. Now we talk about the depth of this Mississippi State bullpen, and you'll see more of it right here. Ben Bracewell was one of 2 that were in the running to start today. Boy, Randy got the start, so Bracewell goes to the bullpen on for the 21st time. 19 of those have been out of the bullpen. For Bracewell, stuff-wise, fastball right around 90, change-up and a slider to go with it, but primarily a fastball slider guy. So generally better against righties than lefties. You can use that slider even more.
Hasn't pitched since June 3rd when he faced Arkansas, Central Arkansas.
This pitching change is all about Butch Thompson, the pitching coach for Mississippi State, and John Cohen's theory about 4 runs or less, no matter where we are in the game. So they play the 1st inning through the 9th inning, trying to keep a 4-run lead. When you see 3-0, that run on first is huge for them.
Seal bunts it foul.
Check that, thanks, man.
It's the little things that UCLA has been able to do out here against everybody. Get the bunts down, get that extra base, go from 1st to 3rd. Safety squeezes.
Used the hole with a man on first. How many times have we seen them chop the ball and pull it over there as a left-handed hitter?
And on the other hand, they're pitching. You don't walk anybody. The defense doesn't make mistakes. They had a rare error tonight on a ground ball. Their double plays have come at huge times.
I'll tell you the other thing today, They've made 2 fly ball outs. One of them was a sac fly.
Yes.
Other than that, a pop up to the catcher. Done a very good job of keeping the ball just out of the air.
They've had 3 base hits that have been choppers over the first baseman or third baseman's head. They are hitting down on the ball because you hit up on the ball here, you're out. Sacrificed by Zeal, successful, and Kevin Williams goes into second. And Zeal will get a nice congratulations when he goes back to the dugout. Yes, it is smart baseball. Now Cody Regis has a man in scoring position at second with 1 out. Regis 0 for 1. Bracewell trying to get out of trouble here in the 4th. Breaking pitch. Caught the plate. Strike 1.
Kevin Williams not a burner, but he's an opportunistic base runner. He has 4 steals this year. Only been thrown out once.
One and 1 to Regis. Young man who had a big freshman year in 2010 before they changed the bats, and it really hurt his batting average. All that additional power that's gone made him an average hitter instead of a really good one.
Before they changed the bats and took the power out of the bats, made them act more like wood. The professional scouts used to have to kind of predict how a hitter would hit when the wood was put in his hands, or follow him into some of the wood bat summer leagues, scout him there.
Chopper back up the middle and through into center field. Bradford charges but doesn't have a play, and again UCLA executes perfectly. Regis bangs it through the middle for an RBI single.
Williams reaches base to start this inning when he's hit by a pitch, then move him up to second base, and Regis does his job. Fastball on the outside part of the plate that's tailing. It wasn't a terrible pitch by Bracewell at all. Threw it in the spot you wanted to. Regis just stayed on it. Beat it in the ground right in front of home plate, enough to pop it right over the head of Bracewell and drive one in. The 4th of the day for the Bruins.
UCLA up by a 4 spot here in the 4th. Brenton Allen, who grounded out, stands in. Takes a fastball low.
Think about the reverse of a fly ball and a pop-up. It's a chopper off the plate or a hard ground ball. What is UCLA doing according to this ballpark? They're hitting choppers off the front of the plate or hard ground balls. Both good swings are line drives. We know those are both going to be hits or hit well. Mississippi State is hitting pop-ups and fly balls. It's all approach.
Jess, the approach is it's what's done them in so far.
Yeah, guys, I sat during the UCLA's BP. You mentioned during Mississippi State so many fly balls. Well, I jumped in and talked to Eric Falia while he was sitting, and he said we take 3 rounds and it's all about ground balls up the middle and opposite field, and it really was. They weren't trying to crush it. They're trying to put the ball in play.
That ball is smoked for a base hit into right down the line. Regis will hold at third, and it's a ringing double for Brenton Allen.
Another hard ground ball, this one. And Wes Ray can defend over there at first base. Coming off the bag, just can't even get the glove down in time. Ripped right past him. Renfroe over to get it. Second and third now with one out, one already in this inning for UCLA, and now they're starting to string a few together. When they start doing that, that's when they're really dangerous.
That double is only their 4th extra base hit of the College World Series. But 4's been enough.
A hit batter, a walk, and a hit batter are 3 of the 4 runs. And they were all at the beginning of innings.
Isn't that something?
Beginning of 1, beginning of 3, and beginning of 4.
And as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, the only thing that matters, you score one more than the other guy. It doesn't matter how you do it.
That's a cross up. Emeretti expected that ball to break. That's why the glove turned over, and he thought it was going to break and go in the dirt, and all of a sudden it ended up being a fastball, and he had to thumb it and catch it with the chest protector. Watch the glove turn over like he's, and then he is completely mixed up about what it is, and it ends up being a fastball.
He'd done a great job to block the previous pitch. And now they're going to make another change, as Butch Thompson is going to test that deep bullpen he has. And it's Holder who has served as the closer for this ball club. But if you don't stop UCLA now, it won't matter.
Well, we said it was to the closer for Mississippi State. Earliest appearance of the season, but this is a spot that they needed to slow this UCLA offense down and give Mississippi State a chance. Power fastball to go into the low 90s. A true top to bottom curveball towards 77, 78 miles an hour. 21 saves this year. That's good for 3rd in the country. And just a 1.24 ERA for Holder.
He's got that closer look too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like to watch him pitch.
Got a little Kenny Powers in him too.
But a far superior arm.
Yes, and breakable.
This is the first year that Kenny Powers could play for Mississippi State, now that they're allowed facial hairs.
Right. This guy is outstanding. Real swing and miss guy, and I think it's one of the reasons he's in there right now. I also think he's going to have to defend another safety squeeze, because with Carroll coming up right here, he shows bunt virtually every at bat. I think they'll ask him to do it again at some point in this one.
Carroll's been hit by a pitch and scored, walked and scored. Infield is in on the grass, and that's going to raise Carroll's batting average about 100 points.
And I think it's the reason why you don't do it in this spot. Is if they bring the infield in this spot, then maybe you give Carroll one chance to try to slip it through.
Carroll stepped out to get a good look at what they want to do. He has not had an RBI in the NCAA tournament. What a spot to get one here. And Holder falls behind 2-1. One run already in, 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 out. Hit him. Curveball just hung inside, and they're loaded. 2 men hit in the same inning.
He's been on base all 3 times, hit twice and walked, and scored the first 2.
The hit by pitch is not a death blow for Mississippi State in this inning. Just 2nd and 3rd with first base open and 1 out. It's not bad having Carroll stand down there. If they do go safety squeeze, now you have a force at the plate. Anything hard back to the mound, you can flip it to the catcher. It actually makes it a little easier for Mississippi State to get out of this inning without any runs.
They're back at 2nd and short, but Kramer's a tough kid to double up. Fastball in the corner. I like to watch Holder pitch. He just looks like he's in attack mode. Kramer with a single and a sacrifice in this game, also has a run scored. Slow curveball for a strike. Cody Regis down at third. He singled. Brenton Allen at second base doubled after he got on, and Brian Carroll at first on a hit by pitch. Ball and 2 strikes to Kramer. UCLA with a chance to really break it open here. Breaking pitch fouled off.
Big swing by Kramer right there in a 2-strike approach. Bases loaded, really just trying to put it in play. He must have seen that curveball and his eyes lit up, because that was not the choke up and make sure you put it in play swing. He had a very good read on that breaking pitch.
Fastball fouled away. Kramer's hit 3 home runs this year. Amazingly enough, that's number 2 on this team. And as you mentioned earlier, Kyle, they play in a big ballpark at home, and they're certainly not going to get many out here.
Just 19 home runs for UCLA all year. Valleca leads them with 5, Kramer with 3. Nobody else has more than 2.
Fouled away again, and you have to build your team based on the ballpark that you play the most games in. Then you try to build it to win your league and then advance to the College World Series.
And then you tailor your game to the guys that you have.
Exactly.
And John Savage knows what he has. Arms that can get him deep. 2 to 3 guys at the back end that can come in and get outs. And guys that can execute at the plate.
In the air to straightaway center. Bradford. Runner tags. Bradford's throw offline, and another run scores. Sacrifice fly for Kramer.
Well, that's a really good at bat by Kevin Kramer. High school quarterback, drafted by Cleveland, decided to go to UCLA and is making the best of it. And they are starting to smell and touch the national championship trophy, which would be the first in baseball for the UCLA Bruins ever. Of their 108 so far, none in baseball.
First and second, 2 out for Falia. He successfully squeezed his last time up to drive in a run. Had a sacrifice fly in the first inning on a line drive to right to drive in another. Holder trying to get out of the inning with no further damage. Hangs a curveball high. That's in the dirt. For UCLA, the 5 runs is the most that they have scored in 5 games in the College World Series.
You got 4 free passes between hit balls and batters. You've got 3 errors, and you've got them sacrificing people and moving people around with 2 sac flies. It's their style. It's just a lot.
Hit hard on the ground to the shortstop. They'll go to second base and just got the force. John Cohen will speak with Kaylee when we come back. Mississippi State down by 5.
His Bulldogs are going to have to put some on the board because UCLA just scored 2 more. 5 runs so far for the Bruins there. Start to to smell it now. Offense has to come alive for the Bulldogs.
5-0 as we go to the 5th, and down to the field. Kaylee is with John Cohen.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, considering this is the earliest you've taken Jonathan Holder out of the bullpen this season, how long do you want to keep him out here?
Well, we'll keep him out there as long as we need to. I think Jonathan's pretty well rested. We've done this a couple of times, not quite this early, but certainly, you know, this is where the ball game is. We gotta stop him right here.
Different game, same story. What adjustments do you need to make to put an end to these fly ball outs?
Well, we're just, our identity's lost a little bit right now. The things that we normally do, we're just not doing. We're hitting fly balls instead of ground balls. You know, we're not fielding bunts. We're not controlling the running game. Everything that got us 51 wins during the course of the year has escaped us, and that's a little disappointing. But we got a long way to go, and I believe in our kids, and I think we can get back in this.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That's the frustration of coaching, not being able to do what you set out to do. They have used 4 pitchers tonight, and their big guns, Frazier, Renfroe, and Ray, a combined 0 for 16 in the College World Series Finals. Tough time to hit a dry spell.
It's a nice display of character during the interview, though. Have your team down and playing for a national championship.
And there's a base hit to start the inning. Sam Frost goes the opposite way for a single. For more coverage of the NCAA baseball tournament and the road to Omaha, go to ncaa.com. You never have enough cowbell.
Amen.
Good job by Frost to go the opposite way, and now Ammirati, the catcher, stands in. Love to break out of his 1 for 14 slump here at the College World Series. Got that hole on the right side to hit through. If you're Vander Tige, are you doing anything different with a 5-run lead than you were when you were up 1-0 or 3-0?
Now, this is the shutdown inning, and he got a pep talk. We overheard from Jess Mendoza, who's down there next to the UCLA dugout. John Savage told him this is time to dominate, especially against the left-handed hitters.
Through the hole in the left field. Ammirati goes the opposite way to get a base knock.
Different approach this inning, fellas. Different approach both times. Left-handed hitters trying to take the ball up the middle opposite way. Frost started with a ball just in front of the left fielder, Brenton Allen. Now Ammirati with a good approach. Hard on the ground the other way, especially against a guy in Vander Tige where you know you're going to get a bunch of fastballs. First 2 on in the inning right here for Mississippi State with nobody out. DeMarcus Henderson coming up again. Remember, it was this spot last night where he came up. First and second, nobody out, couldn't get the sac bunt down. Let's see if they free him up here.
He's 4 for 14 in Omaha, so he has had some hitting success.
And he has been a guy so far here who's done a very good job of taking the ball the other way.
Singled his last time up. Trying to keep the rally going. Nobody out in the Mississippi State 5th. They're down 5, so they need to string some hits together.
Here we go.
I think you let him swing. I think you get to this spot with guys on first and second. You let him swing, roll the dice a little bit right here because you're not going to get back into it scoring 1.
And he fouls it off the right side.
It was another good approach, even with the foul ball, because it was a compact swing and he wasn't trying to do too much.
Runners in scoring position. Look at that. 1 for 24. Yikes. That means the pitching's not just been good overall. It's been brilliant in the clutch. Called strike 2.
One thing that the UCLA pitchers do, and it really is coming from John Savage, is that they don't overpitch when they're not in a jam. So they have a lot of bullets and weapons to show once they really need outs.
There's Frazier. Leading hitter for average on the club. Henderson in the hole, 0-2. Lays off the breaking ball in the dirt. Vandertag in his other College World Series appearance went 7. Got the decision for his 13th victory of the year. He's going for number 14 tonight. Fastball hit toward third, and they just get the force at second base as Kevin Kramer inexplicably backhands one to second base.
They had trouble getting the ball to the glove, which then his feet take him in a position where he has to backhand flip this, and there's no panic in it. Even though he's having trouble getting out of the glove right there, he has no panic, and he just continues with the play, realizes that the feet need to keep moving because he's not going to get a lot of velocity on the throw, and he gets it off in time.
Back to the top of the order for Frazier, first and third. Fly out and a ground out for Frazier.
UCLA right here will trade an out for a run. They are trying to avoid the crooked numbers, the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. They'd be satisfied with giving up 1 and trying to get in the dugout.
Infield a double play depth. Foul into the left field stands. No balls and 2 strikes on Frazier out of Bishop, Georgia. Detz waiting for a chance to hit. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his last time up. Got him to chase a high fastball. That was almost a waste pitch.
It was, and you could see the action of Shane Zeal too. Watch the last pitch. The fastball on the outside part, perfect spot. We're going to come back with a fastball down, but watch Zeal on this last one. He's going to stand up. All they're trying to do is take a chance that Frazier will chase it. If he doesn't, still in a plus count. That's 10 inches out of the zone. Frazier just trying to do too much in a spot where they just need a contact.
Now Detz. Mississippi State squandered an opportunity in the last inning. First time Frazier has struck out in the NCAA tournament, 47 at bats. What a time to do it. And now Vandertag with a chance to get out of the inning. Pitch count, by the way, at 76.
Ball.
Good strike zone by Joe Burleson tonight, as we expected.
He's been good this entire tournament.
Yes, sir. That's on the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mississippi State trying to rally here in the 5th. Zeal looking into the dugout to get the pitch from John Savage. Relays it to Vandertuig, and he struck him out. They'll have to throw to first to complete the strikeout, and they do.
John Savage told him to go out and dominate. He didn't dominate, but he didn't give up a run. He's got a shutout going, and coming up next, John Savage with our Jess Mendoza.
UCLA continues to lead Mississippi State 5-0. Let's go down to Jessica Mendoza with John Savage. Jess?
Thank you, Mike. Coach Nick Vandertuig gave up those 2 hits but left him stranded. What is going to be your approach continuing to be this game?
Well, he's making pitches. You know, I mean, he's got in trouble a couple times, and he's a guy that really goes pitch to pitch, and he executes pitches. And he struck out Frazier on a good one-spot elevated fastball, and then we threw the breaking ball on the plate with 2 strikes against the second hitter. So he executes pitches.
I spoke with Eric Falia before the game. He said it's so much about passing the baton with this team. What is it about your team that ingrains such a selflessness?
Well, they just, they enjoy being around each other. They play hard. They just, they're a team. And I'm very proud of them. Still got a lot of baseball left, that's for sure. But they just know how to get to the next pitch or the next guy. And, I know that's a cliche, but you know what? They really act it out.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
And just because it's a cliche doesn't mean it's not true. The Bruins with 5 hits, 3 sacrifice bunts. They've had 3 batters hit, a couple of sacrifice flies. And one of those sacrifice bunts was a safety squeeze. They simply execute. They have done it since the first game they played out here. And they have been superb as a team. You can't put it any other way.
I might be mistaken, but I felt some emotion there coming out of John Savage's
voice. I agree with you.
And he's already starting to feel it. They're going to have to keep their minds in the present tense because this is huge for their university. You think 108 national championships in baseball, never won. This is like bringing a championship to the Boston Red Sox. This is like bringing a championship to the Chicago Cubs. This is a long time to not have a UCLA national championship in baseball.
Well, think of all the other schools in the country that would die for one. And UCLA's got 108. John Savage in 9 years has taken them to 4 regional wins in 7 years. Won back-to-back supers for the first time in school history, and 3 of the last 4 years has been here in Omaha. The closest they got to a title was 2010 when they were the runner-up. Pat Gallagher, 1 out, nobody on, and Gallagher smokes it to deep right center field and chased down by Renfroe. That ball was crushed. And look at the smile on his face. He knows without the wind that was out of here.
But the smile is there because they're up 5-0 and have a game in hand. If you're Mississippi State and you hit that ball, the frustration continues to set in. This is for ego. I hit it out of everywhere but here. But that's not their style. And they've played this ballpark properly to this point. But that was a great piece of hitting, just not rewarded.
And Renfroe ran it down in the gap. Can't stop smiling. Kevin Williams stands in with nobody on, 2 out. UCLA batting in the home half of the 5th against the Mississippi State closer. This ball lofted into shallow left and caught by Henderson. Now they say no, and it's a double. Henderson circled that ball in left. It fooled him off the bat. And Williams ends up with a 2-base hit.
Well, Gallagher's ball doesn't go out, it's crushed, and this ball ends up fooling DeMarcus Henderson out there. That's because the wind just knocks it down. It looks like with the full swing it's going to the gap and you're running the correct route, and then the wind hits it and it starts coming straight down.
Tried to sell it, but the umpire was in good position, and it's a double for Williams. Now Zeal. And the wind has picked up a little bit. Curveball hung inside. That one caught the corner. 1-1 from the closer, Jonathan Holder. Coming in the earliest point he's been on the hill this season to try to hold UCLA close. You heard John Cohen say he's well rested. We can use him.
I got it.
Stay out there as long as he needs to. One and two to Zeal. Just got a piece and fouled it back.
Let's see if Holder comes back with that curveball. It's when he gets in a plus count. It's one of the big reasons why his strikeout numbers are where they are this year. 86 strikeouts and 50 2/3 for Holder coming into this one. And it's that big curveball that he usually goes to in his spot.
UCLA getting some men down in the pen to get ready as the pitch count rising for their starter. There's the curveball, and it's popped up to straightaway left. Back on the grass, Adam Frazier makes the catch.
The Bulldogs need some runs, and they got the right guy coming up next inning. The All-American Hunter Renfroe coming up, trying to get the Bulldogs on the board and trail it by 5.
Tonight's game track is brought to you by Buick. 5-0 UCLA on 6 hits. Mississippi State has helped them with 3 errors. Vandertag 4 hits through 5. UCLA 3 sacrifice bunts, 3 hit by pitches, 2 sacrifice flies. And Mississippi State, runners in scoring position during the finals, 0 for 11.
How about that number we showed earlier against UCLA in this series? Teams 1 for 24 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 24.
You got to hand it to them. They know their strengths and they play to them. That's why they're on the verge of their first national baseball championship. Renfroe popped up, flew to left. It's a fastball hard to short, but Valleca is there. .52 consecutive innings pitched 1 run or fewer.
That's against some pretty good clubs, too. They went out and beat a Cal State Fullerton team that most thought would be here and many thought had a chance to win a national title. One of 4 national seeds to fall in the Super Regionals, and then obviously the run that they've had here. They're doing it against the best in the country.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse Oral Hershiser if he didn't think that's much of a strike, because that's the entire pitching staff. He did it by himself. 59.
There was a few.
Nothing to it, huh?
I don't know about that nothing to it stuff, but wow. That was pretty impressive to read 52.
Not as good as 59.
You know it went into your head. You know it went into your head when you saw it. It's okay.
Sarcastically, I did kind of go tongue in cheek over here without the microphone on.
Another grounder to short. Tough hop for Valaika. Stays with it and throws him out. Well, they say all records are made to be broken, but 59 is going to be tough.
Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of them.
Well, you got to have a really good team, and you got to have defense like UCLA, because I wasn't a strikeout pitcher, and I think during the streak I only averaged like 7 strikeouts a start. So it's a lot of balls in play, a lot of good plays behind me.
Sounds good.
Don't give me an awkward silence. Just let's keep going with the game. All right?
Because he was going to go first.
I just couldn't help it.
That is quite a run.
It was a long time ago. I hope somebody breaks it, because I hope somebody enjoys that ride like I did.
That must have been a thrill. Ray off the fists to the first baseman Gallagher. The 3, 4, 5 hitters go in order for Mississippi State on 6 pitches.
It's the gateway to the West, birthplace of the Union Pacific Railroad. The meatpacking capital of this country. Send them to Omaha. They'll pack them up and ship them out west. Many things have changed, but every summer, 8 teams take the trek to the heartland to settle the NCAA championship at the College World Series. A tradition born in 1950.
Welcome back to Omaha. 5-0 UCLA. And the last 7 champions have come out of the SEC and the Pac-12, the exception of Fresno State in 2008. And it's going to happen again this year.
That's quite a run right there.
Yes, it is. Once again, the ACC absent inexplicably, because they produce so many great teams and just haven't been able to get over the top here. As we pointed out before, 1955 was the last championship for the ACC. North Carolina and North Carolina State both here this year.
Outside.
Cody Regis will lead it off. He's 1 for 2 tonight and has 3 hits in Omaha. Also scored a run this evening. Got to be a tough assignment for Holder. He's the closer. He's not used to being in 5-0 games and trying to keep them close.
I can tell you this, if he was down there in that bullpen right now and he hadn't been in this game, he might be tearing the fence apart. This is one where you want to make sure, do everything to give your club a chance.
Throw pulled Wes Ray off the bag as Frost was wide on the toss.
It's really well executed at third base. It's just a little wide throw. He does a great job charging it. Maybe be able to field it with one less step right there, that extra step, and then hooks the throw. And that's a big man to pull off the bag.
Ray did a good job of getting off the bag and stopping the throw from going into right field. Some guys will try to stretch there and make the play and let it go for an extra bag. And now Allen squares to bunt and takes a fastball right in the heart.
Years ago, this would be offensive to be up 5-0 and sack bunting, and here second half of the game. But college baseball, this is the way they play. They stick with their offense no matter what. If they're down 3, up 6, they just play their game. They practice their game, and this is who they are.
Outside.
Pulls the bat back, and that missed. 1-1. Action in the UCLA bullpen. Caprillion, who has pitched very well out of the pen a couple of previous games here in the series. And he's been the setup man for their closer. Good sacrifice by Allen, and the runner gets into second. Our coverage of the Confederations Cup will continue with the semifinals on ESPN. Tomorrow at 2:30, it's Brazil against Uruguay. Then Thursday, Spain battles Italy for the last spot in the finals, also at 2:30. The FIFA Confederations Cup, Wednesday and Thursday, 2:30 on ESPN. Both matches also live on Watch ESPN. Pats on the back for Brenton Allen. He did his job with the sacrifice and leaves it up to Brian Carroll at the top to try to drive in another run. And they can't get Carroll out. He's been hit twice and walked, scored 2.
All right. Good job breathing out.
Curveball for another called strike. Action for Mississippi State, Cox and Lindgren.
You would think, I know they wanted to get as much as they could out of Holder, but still the closer, and at some point this stuff is going to start to diminish just because he's not used to being out there that long. So far, though, has come in and really done his job.
On the corner, called strike 3, and Carroll is gone.
Well, the other thing with Holder is you have to weigh the possibility, is there a miracle comeback in Mississippi State? And you'd like him to be able to pitch tomorrow if that happens. So you start weighing the odds at pitch 32. Can my closer come back tomorrow and give me 2 tomorrow? And that really starts to end after you cross the 40 pitch mark.
2 outs now for Kramer. They play him not to pull. Big gap in right center. And DeMarcus Henderson in left is very shallow. So a base hit that way, we could have a play at the plate. Kramer's had a great night. A sacrifice, a single, a sacrifice fly. Very productive at bats.
When you look up and down his lineup, and that's what they all have. Productive at bats when they're up there.
And that will get you a 5-0 lead. And a chance to add to it. Here are the numbers throughout this lineup. Everybody has contributed in one way or another. Zeal, the only one without an RBI, a run, or a base hit next to his name. And he's done a good job behind the plate. Two 2-0 to Kramer. 3-0. And Holder gives up the free pass to Kramer. "37 pitches for Holder. It has not been a cakewalk for him since he came on as the 4th pitcher from Mississippi State.
And I think it's one of the hardest things with Holder is his pitch count is always going to be a little bit higher because he strikes a lot of guys out. He's not a guy that's going to come in and try to get contact right away. So pitch count's going to go up a little bit quicker than you'll see for some others.
Falia looking for that first base hit of the night. He does have 2 RBIs. And one of the prettiest plays of the night was his safety squeeze. It was perfectly executed. Fastball back through into center field. Bradford comes up throwing. Not in time. Falia drives in a run with a hard single up the middle.
Well, they're trying to nurse Holder through this inning, and I think they would have probably made a pitching change next inning because really Mississippi State only has to play for 8 innings because if they don't tie the game up, there is no 9th inning to pitch. So they're trying to get their closer through this inning, and Liv just makes a great swing, uses the middle of the field, and it's getting to be a broken record. But the approach by UCLA of hitting hard ground balls using the middle of the field, not over swinging, is just suffocating.
Falia has driven in 3 of UCLA's 6 runs tonight. Breaking pitch just ticked foul by Valleca. "6-0 Bruins." They continue to add to their totals, and they're just wringing the hope out of Mississippi State in the process.
It's hard to have a 1-team ERA and think they got a shot at lowering it. They got a shot at lowering it.
Yes, they do.
And the offensive production has gone up.
Yes, it
and
has.
the fielding has stayed the same.
How about this tonight too? 5 sacrifices for UCLA. 2 sac flies. 1 was on a safety squeeze, and the other 2 were sac bunts. Both of those runners came around to score.
And they have 8 hits, which is huge for that offense. The inning is over, but another run crosses for UCLA. The Bruins up by 6.
Remember the beginning of the year, the very first weightlifting session at 6:30 in the morning, going to our blackboard, and there was our weight coach, Adam Plutko, pointing to all the national championships, and there was 108.
Every team, everyone, you know, the year that it happened, and, you know, you can count how many, and then there's baseball. And it's blank. So it's just a constant reminder. We got to get that baseball trophy.
I remember, you know, when I committed here as a freshman, I told myself and told the coaches that I wanted to be on the first team to win a national championship for the baseball team. So, I mean, it's one of our goals as a team.
You know, in talking with the team, as soon as they got here to the College World Series, they said in the past a lot of the baseball teams have felt the pressure of all those national championships, but they said no, not this year. We're actually taking those 108 teams. We've heard so much from them, tweets, text messages from Troy Aikman, Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, softball players, tennis, so many teams, and they said, you know what, it's what's lifted us up, and we are playing our best baseball here in Omaha because of it.
Just a remarkable run for the UCLA athletic program. And of course, the ones that stand out most to me, growing up watching John Wooden coach UCLA basketball and the brilliant run he had with the Bruins, and probably the most famous streak ever in the history of college basketball.
You think about some of the names that have gone through this program, all the way back to Jackie Robinson, and Todd Seal, Eric Karros, Troy Gloss, David Roberts, Chase Utley, Eric Burns, who made the trip here today. I can't believe we don't hear him yet. Brandon Crawford just called up, and then Cole and Bauer most recently. There have been some impressive big leaguers that have gone through this program over the years.
7th inning for the Bulldogs, and a ground ball to second base. Regis throws out Bradford for the first out of the inning. Got to work with Eric Karros out here a couple of years. That was fun.
Great team mate of mine back with the Dodgers, and does a fine job on Fox.
You want to talk about fun? I got to work with Burns for about 2 weeks. You're never the same if you work with Burns for 2 weeks, man. He is nonstop.
Frost takes called strike. Mississippi State still with a chance, but they've got to get something started, and in a hurry. And Vandertuig just motoring along. He's thrown 89 pitches.
Led the team in victories this year. He has 13. This is going for his 14. Led the team in strikeouts. Was their consistent Saturday starter, which is 1A in college baseball.
High fastball, swing and a miss.
Adam Plutko pitched on Friday nights. That's the ace night, and then Nick Vandertuig would take Saturdays. There's Plutko. And really, Watson, who's number 3 out here in Omaha, they've really formed a law firm. All defense attorneys with an ERA of this staff at 1 coming into this game.
That's Watson with John Savage. He was the 3rd starter and was just as good as the other 2. A fly ball to straightaway center. Brian Carroll will make the catch. For more coverage of the NCAA baseball tournament and the road to Omaha, go to ncaa.com. And you can look up some of the stunning numbers that UCLA has put up. As Oral said at the start of this inning, they have a 1.00 earned run average, and they have a chance to lower it tonight. Just remarkable. Right now it stands at 0.84. I don't care how much spring they took out of the bat. 0.84 is
still
good.
throwing it. That is throwing it.
Ammirati with a hit tonight, his 2nd of the College World Series. One more quick out, and you would expect to see Vandertuig come out for the 8th, perhaps.
Well, I know we've talked about it. They have taken some spring out of the bats, and now they got springs coming back, but they got to get a little more offense back in the game. It just, they need a little bit more. The threat of the home run has to come back in this ballpark.
Certainly here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's just, it's spun too far now. Credit UCLA and Mississippi State both for building clubs that are built for the style that the game requires right now.
Yes.
Which, if you're this type of team, you throw strikes, you don't walk anybody, you don't put them on, you defend and do the small things right, you win a lot of baseball games. And that's fine. That's good. But a little bit more offense would be good too. Whether it's the baseball or fences here or something. Need a little bit more back in it.
I'm for the fences because I think when we make the baseball go faster and harder off the bat because of the ball, not the bat, you bring the danger back in the game for the pitchers and the corner infielders a little bit. I think bringing the fences in and make a legitimate home run off the barrel with a good swing, something that leaves here. And it's not the ballpark, it's the wind direction, really. It's the prevailing wind straight in.
Well, my point has always been when you get big, strong guys out here, people who are proven home run hitters during the year, during their career, and they square up a hanging curve and it dies short of the warning track, then you got to make a change.
Hey, you're not even say the wall, short of the warning
That's
track.
Right.
Exactly.
And the farthest ball I've seen to center field since we came to TD Ameritrade was 1 step short of the warning track.
And here in Omaha, there's great support to come watch the College World Series. But the thing that worries me is that there's no home team here unless Creighton makes it or somebody really close.
Well, here's the difference at Rosenblatt. The last year was 260. The batting average dropped to 236 here. Scoring way off, down from 9.7 to 6.8. And the home runs 32 to 22. But this year only 3 home runs.
And it's that last one. And I think, listen, I mean, this is a game that you can't make snap decisions on because you need a sample set. There has to be enough before you can look at it and say, okay, now we're starting to see a pattern. But the first 3 years here have been the 3 lowest scoring College World Series since they introduced the aluminum bat.
And that's 1974, right?
Yeah, and the place, I mean, it is gorgeous. They did everything right.
Yes.
The sight lines, everything about it. It is a beautiful, beautiful ballpark. I just think they really got to take a look at it. If you got to change the style of baseball that you play when you show up, you got to take a look at altering something. Everything else about it is outstanding. It's changed downtown. The way that people flock to it, you can walk everywhere you want to go after. I mean, they created exactly what they wanted to create in the heart of this city.
And what a phenomenal host this city is.
After the walk to Ammirati, this is Henderson. I would hope the 3 years is long enough for them to conclude that they've studied it enough.
You know, and they're starting to. I mean, there's been a discussion about studying the baseball and whether that's the solution or it's a fences issue or something else. But I think there's starting to be a recognition that it needs to be looked at.
That's pitch number 100 for Nick Vandertag. He did not get that quick third out, so the pitch count has jumped on him here. Henderson can reach. It would be back to the top of the order for Frazier. Fastball hit toward right, but Falia drifting toward the line makes the catch. The third out of the inning. They strand a runner. It's still 6-0. 6-0 score for UCLA, and a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One. 60 points awarded for baseball. You see UCLA at the bottom of the screen on the left. They have 32 points. You get 60 for a baseball championship. They would finish number 1.
And Guerrero, the AD, is here right now. You know he knows those standings right there. Bump all the way to the top. That's a big, big deal. You get a chance to say you're the champs of the Capital One Cup.
Yes, it is. As the best overall athletic performance. New left fielder Jacob Robson has gone in, and he will bat 9th in the Mississippi State order. If Mississippi State could somehow mount a comeback in the last 2 innings, it would force a game 3, and we would have it for you tomorrow night on ESPN at 8 o'clock. But right now, Mississippi State having a tough time seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Gallagher takes a strike. Holder remains on for the Bulldog. The closer.
Outside a little bit.
1-1. Gallagher with a base hit tonight. 16 hours. That's dedication. Hope you had more than one driver.
The first road trip I had in minor league baseball, 17 hours from Ogden, Utah to Medicine Hat, Canada. We had to stop and change bus drivers because you could only go 8.5 hours. Stop in the middle of Montana, switch.
What is Medicine Hat like?
Medicine Hat is I don't know if there's a place in the face of the earth that has bigger mosquitoes than Medicine Hat can. I think it's impossible. We had citronella candles in the bullpen. And I was in the I was on the DL looking for stuff to do, and so I go down to the bullpen, and I mean, it was taking your life into your own hands. I go hide in the clubhouse for 3 innings.
Those are the days where we used to sleep in the rafters of the buses on those long trips.
Yeah,
and it got really bad when the guys would start tossing the cans that had that little bit of fluid left in it, and your bed, you're up there in the rafters, would get a little wet.
You wake up in the middle of mountains in Montana, and you know you got 9 hours left. It's a long ride.
Yeah. And that bus didn't smell real good at the end of those trips.
But it was a blast, man. I mean, it's just to be able to see the country like that was a cool way to come up through the system.
Yeah. I was in the Midwest League and the Texas League, and we had some journeys.
Hit slowly towards second. The pitcher covers. Pirtle with another good defensive play and 2 outs. Does Medicine Hat still have a team, or did they run out of mosquitoes?
I don't know. That was a little 9-day road trip. 4 days in Medicine Hat, 4 days in Lethbridge to finish it off. The Canada swing in the Pioneer League was a blast.
Zeal takes a fastball up and in.
And we talk about the season that UCLA has had, and if Mississippi State doesn't come back, this is still the furthest that baseball team has ever made it.
That's right.
And we ran through the names at UCLA. Hey, there's some big time names that have played at Mississippi State too. Back to the Palmero and Will Clark, Thigpen and Jeff Brantley days.
When you wonder how they didn't win it.
Yeah.
They were so good under Ron Polk.
Loaded. I think they ended up third. Was it 85 that Polk got them back here? They were third that year. It's a proud, proud baseball tradition in Mississippi State, and rightfully so.
In the air down the right field line and into the stands. And a fan almost out of the stands. The 85 Mississippi State team, one of the most talented. Jeff Brantley, the Cowboy. Bobby Thigpen, Will Clark, Rafael Palmero. Holy mackerel, what a group.
Will Clark swinging the old school black magic.
And what a great, pretty uppercut swing for a left-hander, and what a joy to compete against, because he competed every single pitch.
That team finished third. It's hard to win this. The #1 national seed year after year does not win in Omaha. It's whoever is hot at the time seems to get it done. And there's the third out on a fly ball.
The young man, Hunter Renfroe, is the 13th pick overall in this year's draft. Somebody that will pay to watch hit, and he'll hit next inning.
Now the Bruins happy tonight, and so are all the fans dressed in UCLA blue. It has been some run for them. They swept through the Los Angeles Regional, then they swept a great Fullerton team, and they're getting ready to win their 5th straight game out here. So in the NCAA tournament, they would have gone 10-0. Vandertag has thrown 101 pitches. He's on the hill for the 8th. Top of the order for Mississippi State. 6 outs left to stay alive. Frazier 0 for 3 tonight. It's Frazier, Detz, and Renfroe. Going to make any noise, this is the inning to do it.
One thing about UCLA, and if they win this national championship, what great role models this team will be for the rest of college baseball. Of that can be us. And coaches will be pointing to John Savage and the UCLA Bruins about this is the kind of style and concentration and attention to detail that we need to have to get to Omaha and then win at Omaha.
Line drive, right center field, and it drops in front of Brian Carroll. The wind knocked that down a little bit, I think, and helped it fall. And a base hit for Frazier.
First hit of the finals for Frazier out of that leadoff spot, and that was one of the keys for Mississippi State. You get Frazier on, then John Cohen can get aggressive on the base pass. Now Frazier on, but is it too late?
Detz has got that big hole to hit through on the right side, with Gallagher holding the runner. Hunter Renfroe is on deck. With Renfroe, Pirtle, and Ray next, this could be a big time 8th inning for Mississippi State, and they have to have it. Well, if you're Renfroe, you just relish another shot. The shame of this tournament and any other sport is only one team goes home happy at the end of the year.
That's, you don't want it to overshadow what everybody else has done just to get to this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why people break huddles in fall baseball by saying Omaha. Obviously, the end goal is to win the national title, but to get here is quite an accomplishment.
Weiss and Berg getting ready. Berg, the closer. The national lead in saves. The runner goes, and the throw not in time. Frazier knew he could steal it, so he did.
And if nothing else, that sends a message to your offense right now that says, all right, boys, we're not done. We're still going to be aggressive right here. Frazier steals his 9th bag of the year. You just need something to happen. Detz puts one on the green. Renfroe coming up. It's a long way to go, yeah. A long way to go, but right part of the order to potentially get something done right here from Mississippi State.
2 balls and a strike to Detz.
That is
swung over the top of a changeup.
Great changeup. You think the adrenaline's pumping. We're getting really close to a national championship, and to be able to pull the string and just relax enough and throw a strike, or at least a pitch that appears to be a strike, it's well executed.
Two and two to Detz. Full count.
Out or hit, I think this could be Vandertuig's last hitter.
A 109 pitches for the right-hander tonight. He has given up 5 hits, no runs. Struck him out on a changeup.
And Oral said just a minute ago, to control the emotions in this spot, because for a changeup you just can't overthrow it. Grips it. The grip is what takes the velocity off of it. Dead swings right over the top of it. Big strikeout right there for Vandertuig. And if you're UCLA, you are starting to count outs right here.
If you have tuned in for SportsCenter, it's on ESPN2. You want to tune over there. And now Renfroe. With runners in scoring position, Mississippi State in the finals is 0 for 12. They are 0 for 6 tonight. So they have had their chances, and no one's been able to come through. It's Wes Ray. He would follow Pirtle. Gets away from the catcher, but not far enough as Zeal chases it down the third base line.
pitch count mounts for Vandertuig, but the one thing about Vandertuig is he's been out there competing. He might be tired, but John Savage knows exactly who he has when he's on the mound. When he opens the bullpen gate, you're not always sure what comes out of there.
And look at the opponents with runners in scoring position graphic again. 1 for 28. In the air to deep left, but not deep enough. Bono back at the track, comes in and makes the throw to third, so Renfroe gave it a ride again, but just not enough.
I think it's another one where he thinks he got it too.
But
you can see it off the bat. And
he's a 5-tool guy. They got drafted as the 13th pick in the nation. He crushes this ball in the middle of the plate. This has to be a home run. Warning track, not even in front of it.
1 step in front and 2 outs.
As pitchers, that is not fair.
No, if you get us to admit it, that's
yeah.
that
if you
true.
guys
It's
alone up to it,
significant.
I understand. Renfroe had one of the 3 home runs hit in this series. Could have had 2 more conceivably. Pirtle now with 2 out. And Adam Frazier down at second base. On the corner at the knees for a strike.
I'm having trouble thinking of a yard that plays bigger than this ever that I've ever played in or seen.
Yellowstone.
I'm serious. I mean, Candlestick in San Francisco with the wind barreling in, maybe.
Go ahead. Track.
The only home runs have been line drives toward the bullpen or down the line. That was the only chance you had to get one out of here. Even when the wind was still. Pirtle in the air to left center. Carroll is there. Mississippi State is gone in the 8th. 6-0 UCLA. Welcome back to the College World Series. UCLA leading Mississippi State. It's 6-0. The Bruins coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And they can smell a title. Vandertuig getting congratulations all around for another brilliant performance. 8 innings, 5 hits, no runs. He struck out 6 and walked only 1. This is the way UCLA has pitched the entire tournament. Derek Armstrong is your new center fielder. The new catcher is Mitch Slaughter. Ground ball down to first. 1 out. Cody Regis bounces into the first out of the inning. Christoph Bono stands in, came in defensively. Chance to hit for the first time tonight against Jonathan Holder. Son of Steve Bono, the quarterback, 170-pound freshman out of Palo Alto. Swung through a fastball 0-2. Breaking pitch, line to center field, base hit for Bono. One of the people that has been special to us over the years is Denny Pope, the vice president of championships, who has been associated with this event forever. And Denny is retiring. Tonight will be his last night. Without him, this facility would not have existed. It was his dream. He worked so hard. He and his family came out here every year to visit him. And he has done a brilliant job. This facility will be a tribute to what he has done for college baseball, and assured that Omaha will have this event for another 25 years. It belongs nowhere else. And he and the City Fathers did a brilliant job. We all hated to leave Rosenblatt because it had such great history and great charm, but it had to be done eventually, and he was the one who shepherded this new facility into downtown Omaha, and our thanks to him for everything that he did.
You know, there's a handful of guys that over the years have really changed this championship. It started with Johnny Rosenblatt by getting it here. And then Jack Deasing Jr., who have run CWS of Omaha.
Did a great job.
But Denny Pope and Mike Fahey, who was then the mayor of Omaha, got together and put this deal together to build this stadium, which kept it here for 25 years where it belongs.
There's Jack Deasing
Jr. He's done so much for this event too, but it's the combination of those guys that built it, grew it, and now have seen it come to this spot, which will allow it to grow in the spot that it should grow for the next 25 years.
Jack's handicap is what, still about a 2?
Jack can play. Jack can play. I know the rough's up at OCC right now, but that's not going to bother Jack.
During the time they were planning and building the city, his handicap went up a little bit.
Not much.
Not much. He can really swing it. Fastball low. 1-2 to Carroll. 1-on-1 out in the UCLA 8th inning. Something like this doesn't happen without so much work by so many people. Now we just get to move the fences in. It'll be perfect. Holder's done a good job out of the pen.
He really has, because closers are not used to going more than an inning or two, and when your workload goes up, your pitch count goes up, and you keep your command, he's in really good shape.
That's fouled away.
5.
And we can't thank enough people who work for us. These are very hard days, long days in the heat, double headers, and these guys just work, and they are exceptional at what they do. Tremendous professionals, friends over the years. It's just a joy to work with everybody. Breaking pitch, line just foul outside of third. Eric Mosley and Scott Johnson, our producer and director. A lot of good Cardinal fans as cameramen on this crew.
That's how you judge some of them too, don't you? It goes a long way with you.
Yes, it does.
You know, down in the lunchroom, you don't
Shows
see him
judgment.
eating with any of the Reds fans.
Another line drive. That's a base hit. First and second with one out as Carroll hooks one down the left field line.
Breaking ball just catching a little bit too much of the plate. He has a good one. He has a really good one. 2-pitch guy, which is what you see out of most closers, and Holder getting to the point that he probably hasn't been this entire year. 63 pitches for the closer right now, so you know that stuff's going to start to go down a little bit. You know, the other one I left out is you, because you have had a lot to do with what has gone on here for the time that you have covered this one, Mike. So it's been cool to watch.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Cool to watch.
Appreciate that.
It's fun.
It's been fun.
Fun sitting
I'll
next
tell
to you. How many years has it been?
I have no idea. Really don't.
Over 15.
I would say so, but I never keep track. But it has been a thrill for me to come out here year after year, that's for sure. Made a lot of friends out here. No balls and 2 strikes to Kramer. Tap back toward the mound. Going to be a tough play. And there's no play. Holder couldn't get a grip on the ball or he would have had a shot at first base. And now they're loaded.
This is kind of like salt in the wound to Mississippi State because they've hit a lot of balls hard into a ballpark that holds long fly balls. UCLA's caught breaks but capitalized on breaks. And it's just a no man's land swinging bunt.
Now Falia, who has driven in 3 runs tonight, been a thorn in their side offensively.
About those two.
That's the 1-2 punch.
Plutko, Vandertag, and the run that they have had here in Omaha. 4 of the 5 starts. Take you deep into a game. You don't need too many in the bullpen when you got those two and Watson going out there on weekends.
An earned run average of 1 coming in, and it's going down. One-on-one on a high fastball. You couldn't ask anything more from this pitching staff. Plutko already won 2, gave up 2 earned runs in 8 innings. And he's been the one they touched the most. Vandertag and Watson have been brilliant. There's a curveball for a called strike 1 and 2.
Plutko on the left will be a Cleveland Indian. Vandertag on the right will be a San Francisco Giant. 11th round and 6th round.
On the ground and through into right field. Renfroe comes up throwing. Play at the plate. They would have had him, but the catcher Slaughter couldn't hold it. Nice throw from Renfroe. 2-run score.
Now 4 straight hits for UCLA. Back to back to back to back now singles. This one to right field, and again you're going to see that right arm. That is a special right arm. Don't see that hop very often. That hop when it gets to the grass, and it looks like it picks up speed when it gets to Slaughter. I think this one would have surprised anybody at the plate. Just got on him a little bit quicker than he thought. Carroll and Bono score. Now 8-0 Bruins.
What a night for Falia. 5 RBIs. And an offensive explosion for the Bruins. We'll check out the new pitcher when we come back to Omaha. Now 8-0 UCLA. Welcome back to Omaha with UCLA leading at 8-0, trying to sweep Mississippi State in the finals and win a national championship. And the Bulldogs will send out a new pitcher in the person of Will Cox.
And a sophomore at 6'4", 217. He throws almost from the land down under, changes arm angles. He's had a solid year with that 2.51 ERA. You see that sidewinding, lashing type delivery can give right-handers nightmares.
Kyle Hahn has checked in as a second baseman for the Bulldogs. Now the delay, we have somebody who decides they'd like to run onto the field and security is after him. And the cheer is for the capture. Hers. Multiple her. Well, somebody was overserved somewhere.
Gonna have a little bit of time to sleep it off tonight, I think.
Yes, they will. And the gendarmes have just met them at the edge of the gate. Enjoy your evening in the Bastille. College World Series post-game show coming up on ESPNU, and you can see SportsCenter, of course, on ESPN2 right now, and on ESPN following our broadcast. Will Cox inherits 2 runners, still only 1 out in the inning. And here's Valleca, shortstop and the cleanup hitter for the Bruins. Single, a couple of strikeouts, and bounced into a fielder's choice. Cox strikes him out for the 2nd out of the inning. Can't say enough about UCLA's execution. It has been nearly perfect, both offensively, defensively, and pitching. You can't criticize these kids for anything.
When it goes all the way back to the beginning of the regionals, I mean, they've done it the entire season, but they have done it better than anybody in the country since the postseason started.
Gallagher stands in with 2 on 2 out. He'll get a good look at that sidearm delivery. You can find a kid who throws like this who can get left-handers out, then you've really got something special, because he's going to be a nightmare for right-handers.
It's a changeup for Cox that makes a difference. Something slow that goes down and away from the barrel of the bat of the left-hander.
All smiles in that UCLA dugout. It's outside, 2-2. Appeal to third, no swing. Smoked toward right, but right to Renfroe. The inning is over, but UCLA adds 2 more. We go to the 9th, 8-0. Well, it's one thing to have the chance to hold on to that national championship trophy for pictures before the series is over. It's going to be another thing for UCLA to be able to hold on to it for real and know it is theirs forever. David Bird with a single season record for saves, 24. This, of course, will not be a save situation, but he's in to finish it off. He's the only player in college baseball history with 2 50 appearance seasons in a row. He only plays 67, 68 games. He's been in 50 of them.
He's just a sophomore, too.
Trey Porter will be the pinch hitter for Mississippi State. And a nice move here by John Cohen, trying to get as many players onto the field as possible, give them an opportunity to compete in this situation. Even if they're reserves and never get a chance to play full time, it's got to be a thrill for these kids to have an opportunity here in Omaha.
Foul ball.
And speaking of John Cohen, I think it's time to give a tip of the hat to Mississippi State and the great run that they've had. And they're going to be disappointed when the 3 outs are up, probably, but this is a great school with a great tradition, and they are going to miss out on their first national title, but boy, did they give it a great run.
And they've gone further than any team in the history of that program has. Nobody had ever made it to the championship series or the finals.
Their best ever finish here had been 3rd. This year, barring a miracle comeback and this the top of the 9th, they will finish 2nd. Look at this, 341,483, and a lot of that is because the Mississippi State fans showed up in droves for the final 2 games.
Without a doubt.
There's probably 50,000 of them over the last couple games that have helped pack this place.
And Kyle, you had mentioned before how they turn out in droves for home games at Dudy Noble Field. On the ground to Regis for the first out of the inning.
It was kind of cool too. So John Cohen before this game, and he walked up, clearly didn't have to say this to me or anybody else, and just said the way that this city has treated our fans and our team since we have been here. He's like, he'd been here before obviously, but he said I get it again. It's just if you're a college kid, and I was fortunate to do it twice, but you're a college kid in this setting, just to go through this thing and the way that the city embraces it. Pretty cool for fans and the kids wearing these uniforms.
And that's something every team tells us.
Yeah.
You know what a thrill it is for them, especially to come here for the first time, and for teams like LSU and UCLA who come here repeatedly. How well they're treated, how they're embraced by the fans. It is something special. There's no doubt about that. Derek Armstrong with a chance to hit out of Columbia, Tennessee, his first at bat in this game. Swung over the top of an 83-mile-an-hour pitch from Berg.
The David Berg season has been an unbelievable accomplishment, and so it will be for the UCLA Bruins, but he's done it with unique delivery, great movement, not velocity, and a really good frisbee slider.
And he's the guy that ought to be out there. Save situation or not, he's the guy that ought to be finishing it off because of what he has done over the last 2 years.
Armstrong strikes out, and that leaves it up to Matthew Britton, who's called on as a pinch hitter with 2 outs.
He was a late signed walk-on to UCLA, Berg. Now on scholarship because he's earned it.
Yeah, you would hope so.
That doesn't do it. 100 appearances in your first 2 years.
And 1. 2 outs and nobody on in the Mississippi State 9th. UCLA can taste it. Oh, 2. That's a fair ball, and the Bruins have done it. They win their first ever national championship in baseball and number 109 overall. A tour de force by the UCLA Bruins here in Omaha and throughout the NCAA tournament. Swept the regionals, swept the super regionals. They come out here and they sweep it here in Omaha. It's a remarkable run.
An alum, a great Dodger, Eric Karros, just texted me, proud to say I played baseball for UCLA. Congrats to Coach Savage and the guys on doing something none of us were able to do. Go Bruins.
You know what they did? They outskilled them all. They just showed up to town and outskilled them all. They pitched better than any team has ever pitched in this aluminum bat era. A .8 ERA. 4 earned runs in the entire College World Series for UCLA. They got the hits when they needed them, and they defended better than anybody else.
Now let's take a look at the Capital One Tournament most outstanding player, and it's Adam Plutko, the starting pitcher for UCLA, their Friday night ace who won 2 here. 13 innings, allowed only 8 hits, was dominant. So was the rest of the UCLA staff.
And if it was ever a year to give it to 2 guys, you give it to he and Vandertag and say, all right, boys, you ought to split it because of the job that those 2 did. Vandertag will make the College World Series all-tournament team as he should. But both of those guys, 4 wins between them in just a week and a half here in Omaha.
What a ride for UCLA and John Savage coming out here 3 of the last 4 years. It had eluded them before, but they got it here. Hats off to John Savage.
Absolutely.
He earned this.
Yes, he did.
The last out, a ground ball to first, and the Bruins can celebrate. Vandertag gets his 2nd win of the College World Series. He's 14 wins on the season, a championship season for UCLA. SportsCenter comes up next. And John Savage realizes the dream for UCLA. Stay tuned on ESPNU, tonight's post-game coverage, and good night from the College World Series. We thank you for watching. Now here's SportsCenter.